to order. Hello, everybody. I'm going to make my attempt at running the meeting, and if I make a mistake, you'll have to bear with me. I'm a little new at this, okay? So the meeting's called to order. This is going to be divided, this meeting is going to be divided into two parts. The first part is an organizational meeting, because we never had an organizational meeting to choose officers, and we have to go through those, choose officers, MRC board,
Positions.
And positions, yes, positions, thank you. And we also have to choose appointments to the Middle River Club and bank signatories, correct? And so that's the first meeting. That's our organizational meeting that we neglected to have after the election. Then we're going to adjourn that meeting, it shouldn't take very long, and start the meeting that involves these, the agenda that you have in front of you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, well, so we have, do we do a roll call? Should everybody say, okay, so.
Valerie Kancipolsky.
Could you talk out louder, please, everybody?
We'll try.
Valerie Kancipolsky.
Robert Morrison.
Helen Dambrowski.
And I have Frank Danford from Alaska on the phone here. And we have.
Yep.
Adrian
Bonilla in Albany.
Who?
Adrian.
Oh, okay. I couldn't
She's in
remember.
Albany. We have a very widespread.
Hi.
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 Okay. So I guess the first item of business,
Board reorganization.
yeah, is board reorganization. Oh dear. I will turn down the phone in a minute if well, he's at the hospital. Board reorganization. Yes, okay, I will, Marilyn. In other words, we need to decide on positions, correct? So I'm entertaining motions for, if you have people you want to make a motion for what role that you think they should have. Did I say that correctly?
No, you just go ahead and just say you want to be president.
Okay. Valerie, would you?
I'll make a
Yes,
motion.
make a motion.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I will make a motion. I guess we do we want to do it by officer role?
Yes.
Or
Sure.
President first.
Go for it.
three at a time? Maybe just each officer would be better.
Okay.
So let's start with, start with president. I would make a motion for Frank Danford for president.
I would like to second that motion.
But he's never here.
He's going to be here, well, first of all, please don't just talk out of turn, because we're trying to run this meeting the best we can. And that's not correct. He's going to be moving down here more full-time soon. So, forgive me, but, so, I second the motion for Frank Danford.
I second the motion.
Okay, I don't. Megan.
That's all right. But
All right, she obviously, and then.
Oh, and Frank, I guess, Frank, who are you voting for president?
I guess I'm voting for myself.
Okay, all right, so
Okay, next one.
next one would be financial officer. I would like to,
Did we vote on that? Did we vote?
Yes. Oh,
She disappeared.
Frank is president.
that's okay, we can hear you,
Yeah, we can hear.
sorry.
It's gonna go off.
Oh, it's okay. So,
Okay, and everyone voted?
did
For
we-
the minutes, everyone
Yes,
voted?
Helen said no, and the rest of us voted
Okay.
for Frank. All right.
Treasurer.
Okay.
Treasurer, I'd like to make a motion for Valerie to become the treasurer.
I'd like to motion that also as an agreement.
So, Adrian?
Adrian? Is there sound?
Adrian.
I vote yay.
Okay,
I think that's unanimous.
okay.
Valerie is the treasurer.
Right.
Okay.
Secretary.
And then now secretary, I would like to make a motion for Adrian to become secretary.
I second that.
Yep, I do too.
I second that also.
Okay, I think we're unanimous in choosing her for secretary.
Well,
Okay, so we have our three.
and the other two will be
positions.
directors.
And the other two will be directors. That's me and Helen. So, all right. The next item on the agenda for the reorganizational meeting is appointments to the Middle River Club, is that correct?
Right,
Yes.
that's what we have.
So, I would like to make a motion for Frank Danford to be on the Middle River Club.
I second it.
I second that.
Okay.
Anyone else? Adrian?
Who did we just vote for?
I say yay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Frank. Next motion? Somebody else want?
oh, I'd like to be on the Little River Club.
Helen, you're putting your name forward.
Right.
I would like to second that.
Second that.
Adrian?
I'm in favor.
Okay. Frank?
Yeah, I'm in favor.
Okay, Helen.
Okay.
And then we have one more name we need. I'm going to make a motion for Valerie to be a member of the Middle River.
I second that.
I'll second that.
Okay, and Helen?
I don't.
Okay, so we have 4 yays and 1 nay. So that's that, we've got that taken care of. Okay.
That's
What about bank signatories? Do we talk about that now, or that's a treasury item? In that case, this organizational meeting
So,
is adjourned. Wasn't that exciting?
I
Thank you.
second that.
Okay,
so
thank
that
you.
meeting is adjourned at 7:07.
7:07, that meeting was adjourned. Now, I would like to call to order the agenda that was posted, the next meeting. And I believe we are all here. Do we need to do another roll call? We're here, we know we're here. So the first item on the agenda for this meeting of the board is the special assessment item. Do I hear any motions about that?
Well, I think that we're gonna table that until we get a management company. But we did, get some information, and we do have to have an assessment, whether it's going to, we have to decide on how we're going to go ahead and have it, paid out, whether it's gonna be 1 payment or 2 payments. And we have to do that sooner than later by law, because we have to put that money back into the reserves.
And how much is this assessment?
Well, it's right here. It's, it was spelled out in yours.
It's on the
Right here.
table.
Here's the chart, okay? And the reasoning was for the insurance, as we
Okay.
knew from December.
I'll have to
that
read
there
that
was an
over again.
assessment coming because of the insurance. So this is going to be the chart that you're going to go by as far as the fee that you're going to have to pay. And I know that some of you probably have paid already your assessment, so based on this. So that's going to have to be up to the management company to figure that all out. But there will be an assessment coming.
Okay, thank
And
you.
it's gonna be coming sooner than later.
Yeah, I would second that to table that until after we have the new management company come in, and then we'll address the situation.
I agree, we should
I
table
second
it. Okay, so that item is tabled.
Okay, I agree as well. I agree as well.
Thank you, Adrian. All right. The next item on the agenda is authorized representative to tow vehicles from the property.
Quick question, did we skip over bank signatories?
Yes, we did. That I forgot to put thank you. That was, it should have been at the top of the list. I thought it would be in the other meeting. Yes, we need to discuss bank signatories.
Well, it's gonna be our treasurer.
So I would assume that Valerie, would you want to phone?
Yeah.
And then my question is, would it make sense for somebody from the property management company to be a signatory, since they're gonna be handling finances together with you, rather than
I
have?
don't think so. I think it's gotta be somebody from the board. And, obviously it would be it should be somebody that's on here,
Excuse me, can you guys talk a little bit louder?
Yes, sorry, we'll try to speak louder.
Yeah, the chat is good, yeah.
Sorry.
Robert?
Yes,
Robert? I would like to see everybody that's on the board be on the signing, because we're gonna have people
No.
coming, going,
No.
and
No.
taking,
Only
traveling,
two.
Only
vacations.
two people.
That way, we've got enough people to come in to work with the management company and the existing board that are there at the time, just to fill in so we know where we're at. So it
Can't
kind
do
of
that.
covers everything.
It should just be Valerie as treasurer and Bob.
Or, let me ask you a
Right.
question, because this is something I don't understand. Previously, it was Peg and Tony,
Right.
who was the manager. So, he was the manager, why couldn't our management company also be a signatory? I mean, let's face it, they're gonna be dealing with our finances, I mean, that's a fact. It's not like they're.
I don't know.
Right.
I think that makes more sense, in my opinion.
I think that we can limit, they can be limited by what they're authorized to sign
sign
for. There
for.
can be limitations on the signatories.
Right. This
When,
morning, we
you
had
know,
that
if
meeting
you can be
with
authorized
that
signatory, but
company.
just four.
They brought
Hold
that
on,
up
Frank,
at
hold
the
on, Frank,
meetings.
hold on, Frank. Adrian is still speaking, I bet people can't hear Adrian, can you?
Okay.
I think that I think I kind of go in between that maybe it's limited. I get a little concerned with too many people having signature authority unless it is clearly stated what they have authority for. Not unlimited. It would be limits on amounts or for certain kinds of business.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. So how would we do this then? Should we,
But let's just wait until we find out. When Valerie, you go to the bank and you
Yes.
find out.
I agree.
So when I
So,
go there, I will sign up as a signatory.
yes.
Is that also something that might be
Just
worked
start
out
with,
with the
or somebody
management
else?
company?
Well, we'll talk, we've been interviewing management companies, and, you know, obviously, we're learning, it's a learning process.
Yeah, no, I understand
And,
that.
you know, we'll see what we can find out. You know, there's nothing else we can do.
So,
We'll do what's best practices. We'll follow
best practices. So Valerie will be a signatory, and when we're going to revisit this once you've spoken to the bank, is that correct?
Okay, so someone's made a motion
We
for
don't need a
Valerie.
motion. We don't need a motion, because Valerie's already treasurer.
So she should be signatory.
We do need a motion.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that Valerie be a
We're
signatory.
taking an action.
Right, I would like to make a motion that Valerie be signatory for the bank,
And another person to be
I second it.
determined.
and another person to be determined, correct? Okay?
Good,
I second that, yes.
Okay,
good.
Okay,
All
thank
in
you.
favor?
Thank you, Adrian.
and I'm in favor.
All
Yep.
right.
All in
Can you hear us now? I'm just checking, thank you. There we are. So the next item on the agenda would be,
The management company.
what about the authorized representative?
Oh, that's
Just
what
trying to go
Tom-
down the road,
Oh, yeah.
the items here. Authorized representative to tow vehicles from property.
We have to look into that.
Any comments about that?
I make a motion that we table that.
Okay.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
We're gonna table that item right now, okay? Table.
Right.
Right.
So if somebody's, excuse me, so if somebody's in your spot, you can't have them towed?
No, it's just, we're not going to have an authorized representative of vehicles right from this very meeting, right this second.
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many things to get organized right now. We're trying to organize them correctly, and we'll have a management company in place hopefully by the end of the week. And then we can revisit some of these things in conjunction with them. You know, and they have the expertise and they can be helpful in some of these items. It
Okay.
doesn't mean, you know, people are allowed to park in your car spot. And,
Okay.
you know, so.
We have a towing company.
And we're also getting up to speed with everything. We want to be reasonable and careful and make sure we do our due diligence with each of these items and have time to actually look through the material and documentation ourselves before we make votes on things. So just give us a little bit of time to get up to speed.
Mhm. So that's.
Thank you.
So that's tabled, we'll
Right.
agree that it's tabled. And the next
Yeah.
item on the agenda is management company. Am I allowed to speak about that in some way, or? Okay, so we are in the process of interviewing management companies. I'm sure everybody's very interested in this. We have one that we met with today. We have 2 that we're meeting with tomorrow, and there's a third one that Valerie already met with as well. And we have,
2 others.
and there were 2
2 others, yeah.
So altogether it was, how many?
We'll have 5.
5. What we've already determined that, it's very important to get a management company in place sooner rather than later. And so we are going to be scheduling another meeting for this Thursday, starting at 3:30 in the afternoon, where we are going to have representatives from 3 of these management companies that we feel are the 3 we should consider. And we will have an hour with each one of them. It's an open meeting. We will have the agenda listed, so you know what's happening, and you may come. And we will then make a determination who the management company is going to be.
What date was that again?
Sorry?
What
Thursday.
date? was
Oh,
that?
that's this Thursday, starting at
Eleven.
3:30 in the afternoon. It's an hour for each one of the ones we're thinking about, and we will post that 48 hours in advance, as we're supposed to, and hopefully we'll come up with the right choice.
Where are you gonna post it? You say you were gonna post it?
We will post it in the same places that all the meeting,
In the boxes
in those
by the-
glass,
Oh, okay. All right,
things,
okay.
which we're gonna try to
That's
find
what I
the
thought.
keys for those so we can post them inside of it. No one's got a plastic bag full of about 7,000 keys, so we'll do what we can, but we promise we will post.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Do you have like an email that will go out for people who aren't on site here?
Apparently, according to one of the property managers, we are not required to do that, but we certainly, the problem is without a property management company in place, we don't have access to all of that right now, and we're in a very in-between period here. Once we're up and running on Thursday, that will change, once we've determined who the management company is gonna be. If anyone
No,
wants to
that's-
chime in and say I'm making a
no,
mistake.
After Thursday.
After Thursday, we will have
Or
somebody in
something.
place, yeah. And then we can, it'll be much easier to deal with many of these issues. So,
May I ask a question about that?
I don't know why not.
When you're interviewing the management companies, being that I'm in real estate and we're former board members, are they gonna place somebody here on premises, or is it gonna be?
Well, let's just wait till you hear the presentations, because we've been asked that question.
Okay.
And some of them are saying that we do not need to have a manager on board here. We don't need to have somebody in the office all the time, so they're scattering, sometimes it's going to be maybe 2 days a week. It all depends.
Okay.
These companies have their own kinds of ways of doing it, and everything now is on the computer. Bank checks, checking is all going to be done on the computer. They've got these portals, you just plug it all in and, they give the information.
There is an emergency, they would have an emergency line.
Right.
So that's probably your main concern in that regard. So if something happens in the middle of the night or whatever it might be, you can call the emergency line and there's someone who will respond, and we'll have to pay more money for that, of course, but that's not the important point. The important point is there's somebody there if you need somebody. I think they were all offering that, but we'll see when we see them, I think. Anything else about that particular?
No, that's clear enough.
Okay, so,
Legal counsel.
yes, okay.
I have a question about the management.
Okay, Bill?
It's been brought to my attention by RB and RT that if we use their management company,
Yes,
it
Royal.
would create more of a feeling of community and stop all the animosity that seems to have existed over the years.
May I respond to that, Bill? We've already talked to several other companies. A lot of it is gonna depend on what they're offering us.
That's right.
And,
Money.
right now, well, I don't even wanna say
No,
that.
let's-
Well, let's not get into that.
Into
Let's just say
details.
we have to look at what they're offering and what's gonna be best for us. And that's gonna be the main thing. Any company can come in and do a good job for us. Just because they're with the other 2 buildings does not mean, I don't think that should give them any extra consideration unless they're offering us some kind of a deal. We'll have to see, right? So that's kind of where that's at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to legal counsel for River Shores.
We have a legal counsel.
We have a legal counsel, but I don't even know who our legal counsel
Andrew
is.
Black.
It's who is it?
Andrew Black.
Andrew Black, okay.
And he wants to know the names of our officers.
Of course, and now that we've had our meeting, we can tell him Andrew Black.